Tell me about it. I know.
I know, right? And then
That
it
was
just
me.
kind of. I was on Irving's show this weekend.
Really?
This was so good, like yesterday.
Yeah, you said you were on TV, right? How was that? I want to do that one
She was
day.
great. You're welcome.
Oh, thank you. Oh my God, I feel a breeze.
Yeah. We could open that more maybe and get more of the regular breeze in here. Does that window open another couple inches?
Yeah, it does.
Oh, it does. Okay, somebody come up, lift over me. Grab that. Yeah, please. While I put on my concealer.
Okay, sure, take your time. Uh-oh.
Oh, I think I can see it on the hands.
A little bit later.
All right, wait, here, go.
You just
We do what?
I made a little progress if that doesn't work.
can you fix my camera?
And this camera,
Yep,
which way do I go?
Straight.
Like
Yeah,
that?
no, just straight. You just turned it when you went to open the camera. I mean the window.
Yeah, I understand that my shoulder hit it, but
Yeah, that's it.
Wait,
No,
is
just
that the way you want it? Or-
that's good.
This room just has so much space, I don't know what to do.
Where's Dallas? Oh, there you are.
Let me know.
All right, we're good. How are you?
Thank you.
And the phone, right?
Okay. You got the phone set up.
Es Marco Veloz. O Mario, ok, María. Voy a poner aquí un micro
That's it.
All right, guys.
Ready to rock.
Ready to rock, ready to roll.
Hace poco nomás estaba, bueno, yo sí sufrí, cada día yo sentía algo de
Where everyone, pick a seat.
No, si para nosotros realmente es la falta de conocimiento. Pero bueno, ya estamos.
Sorry, we just said that.
Vamos con
That's like one of my favorite.
la otra compañera que llega. Vamos a ir avanzando así,
Peppermint matters, that's right.
a ir bajando ya entonces
I love these. I know. I love these so much. And it works as a fan too.
So like,
Like the fan that kind of just goes.
if we have to, we can move that up, open it even more. That was the most I could get with my leverage.
You're going.
That makes a difference.
para yo poderlo atender. Si hacemos esto, si hacemos esto.
It's the first heat wave.
It ain't no,
I know.
I need to on.
I know.
All right.
Espera.
Oh, here, did you say somebody called? Did somebody call?
Nobody's called.
Bill Clinton called and said he has an open marriage, so he's available. So he's only looking for sincere relationship.
Is that what
Really?
No.
I don't think he's ever going to talk about sex again in public.
Mm-mm.
I think he's learned a lesson.
Okay, so you're not gonna do the screen up here and then that and that, no. Okay.
Hold on.
And just make sure the music is playing throughout my intro and we should be good.
Nosotros esperan una semana, 2, 3 días.
And now once this door closes, it's really hot.
Napkin.
No,
It's really
where's
hot.
the tummy?
Right here and then all up through here.
Oh my goodness.
Let me let you see that.
Yeah. We're ready.
Yeah, I know you took off your stuff and
No, I've got it, good. Oh, okay, thank you. Oh, Lord, I don't know what.
I'm so happy you're.
Thank you, I'm gonna put my glasses back on, it's gonna be, I don't think anybody's getting, maybe a little bit.
No, it's
Okay.
not. So cute though.
Welcome to the Culture Cocktail Hour. I am your host, Alisa Bowens. Every Thursday, I trade in my dance shoes and I spend time with you, the listeners, and I talk arts, music, culture, relationships, and all that good stuff. I have back in the Talk Sip my two phenomenal co-hosts. I have Dallas Davis is in the house. Hi, Dallas.
Hello.
And I have Irving Pinsky. Hi, Irving. How are you? Happy Thursday.
Hi, Alisa. Hi, Dallas.
Yeah, so
Hi.
I am excited because today we're going to be finding love. And if you read my post earlier, it said looking for love in all the wrong places. And because a lot of people are looking for love in all the wrong places. So let's figure out where to find love if you are not in love and you're searching for love. So that's going to be great.
Hold on a second.
We have a special guest joining us. His name is Glenn Jameson. Glenn is from he's a social planner. He actually does a lot of singles parties and dances. And so he's got his pulse on potentially where you can find love. All right. So sit back, relax as we serve you up a tasty mix of talk radio. You are listening to the Culture Cocktail. Yay. Hi, it's another Thursday. Okay. All right.
Phone call.
Oh, great. After I come in for a minute, then we'll get to them. All right. So if you're watching, this show is dedicated to finding love. And yes, someone just said, what is love? What do you define love? So now today we're going to be talking about, in particular, relationships. So in our relationship segment, we are going to be taking questions from Facebook Live folks, and they're going to be telling us where they have found love, or if they have not found love, where they have been looking. And has it worked for them? Has it not worked for them? Which should be interesting. So I see you guys on Facebook Live, so make sure you just, keep the questions and the comments rolling in. But guys, how is it going? It's Thursday. Irving, I just saw you on Tuesday, and thank you so much for having me on the Irving Pinsky TV show. That was a lot of fun. Dallas, you have to go on one day.
I know, I would love to.
It was fun, and we had good guests, and you were the star, and everybody treated you. Everybody treated you. You were the star, and that's nice. Except nobody showed up to take a dancing lesson from you, which would have been really good. They were there, but they were a bunch of STIFFs stiffs.
All right, that's a huge acronym. I'm not even going to try to tackle that one right
They
now.
were stiffs. You were the dancing star.
The dancing superstar.
And thank you. And you know what? And I like the studio. The studio is great. I got to see a couple of people that I haven't bumped into a while at CTV. So what's up to those folks in TV land? But yeah, Irvin, that was great. I love the setup. I love your show. It was great. We talked about a lot of things. We talked about how dancing helps you emotionally and physically, and how it keeps you going. And it actually helps you find relationships. So that's going to be a great segue of, getting into and jumping into love as we know it. All right. So, Dallas,
Yes.
let's talk about this, Irving. Let's talk about this, and our Facebook viewers out there. Love, what is it? How would you define it? And where have you tried to find it?
Let's see. Well, love is one of those things. First of all, if you go biblically, they say love is patient, love is kind.
Yes.
It is not
yes,
boastful.
yes.
It is not envy.
Exactly.
But in today's world, you're like, love really doesn't have to be that kind. Doesn't really have to be that patient. Just as long as I'm not alone.
Are people rushing love? I think
think
sometimes people are like rushing through it. They're not giving it a chance, and
people are definitely rushing love.
yeah.
And I know that because I have lots of friends who go online to do the online dating and stuff like that, which is great. I mean, a small percentage of people have been able to get married and
connect,
and connect, and then have kids and all of that. But then I was meeting with a friend of mine who happens to be a woman, and I'm like, so what are you doing to find, these guys? What are you doing when you go on these dates?
Exactly.
And she says that she asks them what their goals are. She asks them where they see themselves in 5 years.
5
She
years,
asks them how
not
many
like
kids that
2.
she wants. When it was,
Okay.
how long? I'm like, okay. Red flag, red flag, red flag. He said, I just want to get I'm
Yeah,
like,
it's got to be a little. It's got to be a little
It
more
has.
natural, I think.
yes, and I
Yeah.
totally believe that love grows. You know,
Love does grow, and if you're out there and you are a product of online dating, please give us a buzz 203-872-7356. Let me say that again 203-872-7356 because there are folks who literally have found love online, and so it works for some folks. I do Match.com events.
yes.
So I host the Stir events, which are phenomenal.
Yeah.
I love it.
Mhm.
If people that come in and I do something called speed dancing. So
Mhm.
instead of speed dating, you're jumping tables and chairs and
Nice.
from chair to chair and meeting with people. Well, my round of dating for speed dancing is you basically you rotate. I call out numbers and people rotate around, and it is phenomenal. People get to know each other,
Wow.
and they let their inhibitions down because they're talking, they're dancing,
Of course.
all that good stuff. So online can be amazing, but then of course you hear the horror stories. But what we're going to do is we are going to, like I said, Facebook fam, how are you? We got cousin Jack Johnson out there, Bald Head Buchanan. People they're watching it from New York and
I love
DC.
it.
I
Hello,
love it. Hi
everyone.
Tim. In Angola, and we've got a couple more folks out there. But we have, I believe, Glenn Jameson, who is the event planner out of Brantford. He is on the phone. He's calling in. He's going to let us know how he got started and where he thinks that dating, where you could find folks, because he does events every week.
Wow.
Glenn, are you on the air? Yes. Awesome. Glenn, we can hear you. I am very excited because we were talking about love, and we're talking about singles parties, online dating, and what's going on in 2017. It seems like there's a lot of single folks running around there. So welcome to the show. Let us know your take on single stuff today. All right, let's tighten it right up. All right. There are a lot of single people in the country, and it's getting harder and harder each day to find love. Let's say love, or let's say companionship.
Yeah.
What do you think is what you have your pulse on this? What's going on in 2017 that you see? Mm. Right. 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 The stigma. Right. No, you're right.
True.
Yeah, but wow. And you know what? I always say a relationship doesn't define you,
Mhm.
it enhances you. I don't
Mhm.
think folks are, and I'm joined here by Dallas Davis and Irving Pinsky. And these are my two co hosts in the Talk Sip. And I think we've talked on the show before that it doesn't, relationships don't necessarily define you. They should really just kind of bring out the best in you. So when folks are coming into your, single stances, I know sometimes the confidence can be a little thrown off, but are you finding that most people are, just kind of like, all right, this is my last resort, or this is my new beginning? Mm. Right. They don't want to be online. Yeah.
Glenn, can I,
Mm-hmm.
Glenn, do you have a website in case somebody wants to see, you more generally?
Yeah.
Do you have a website they can go to? Under the name Happy Hours?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good place to start.
And we want people in Connecticut. So now I had the privilege of actually attending one of Glenn's events, and it was amazing. And actually in Dallas, we're gonna have to kind of get you guys together because
Yes.
you do happy hours, and I think it's once a month.
Yes, absolutely.
So
Once
we're
a
getting
month.
once a month in New Haven at different venues, and Dallas does that for I think it's more of like a corporate kind of get together. It can be singles, couples, but you're really he's doing a great job here in the city. Corporate, just get together, business after hours, which is great. But Glenn, you're like I said, you focus more of the singles, drawing people together, trying to take them into a more personal, offline kind of relationship. So, what is your next event? We want to know all about it. And I know Cinco de Mayo is coming up.
Arriba!
Arriba.
I, okay. Oh, that's right. Okay. Exactly. That's a beautiful, beautiful venue. So can you tell our listeners what your setup is? So people find you online, they find you on your meetups, then they register. So how does this work? So take a single person through a registration for one of your events.
Yes, I want to know.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Right. 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 Exactly. What's cover charge usually for a dance?
Oh, nice. Ah.
Right. Right. So now let me ask you so. Right, and that yeah. No, exactly, and that's where I wanted to kind of go with the questioning. Where are when people are in that room? What are you seeing the dynamics? Are there fireworks? Are there people? Are they meeting? Are they talking? Are they, what's your success rate? You've been doing this for about 8 years now. So are you seeing, people, connecting, getting married?
Ah, I
Yeah,
like that.
right. But they like your parties. Exactly. So now let me put right. So let me pose this to my co-host. So say you're single and
Right.
you're going to these single events.
Right.
What happens when now you become you're attached now. You're you're in a relationship. Will you continue to go to these single events? Because some folks might not be able to handle
Right.
being in a room full of single folks.
Mhm.
So how do you feel about that, guys?
Well, what I would do is I think you should put something on your lapel or something to say hashtag taken. So you're not trying to find number two while you're there, right? But in all seriousness, I would invite my other single friends who are actively looking for a relationship.
Yeah.
And now do you do LGBTQ which I just found that's the one that they just added in. Do you do those events as well, or is this pretty much geared towards traditional relationships, if you will?
Mm. Gender.
Wait.
So Glenn's saying so your events are for all. I mean, I've been to the events and they're amazing, and so that's why I'm excited. And Glenn and I were talking about this earlier, that we are going to have our first time. We're going to collaborate, and might even have to bring you in, Dallas.
I'd love to.
For a huge, not a singles party, but just an all-out meet and greet, dance, have a good time.
That sounds great.
In June, so we're I'm excited to be kind of collaborating with those folks, because people need to meet other folks that maybe they might not otherwise meet.
Yes.
Yeah, we're gonna call it what, a salsa singles mingle.
Oh.
Get a little sangria in there too. And
Yeah, salsa sangria, sweet up.
One corridor, probably in North Haven, at
Yes.
one of the larger hotel ballrooms where we can a massive, a large 5,000 square foot ballroom that has a great dance floor. And as we get closer to the summer, it'll be air conditioned and.
Yeah. And we'll have dancing. We'll have performances. We're gonna have dance lessons.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have speed dancing. So it'll be great. It'll be a lot of fun. It'll be a lot of fun. All right, Glenn, stick around. We're gonna take a short break. We will be right back. You're listening to the Culture Cocktail. Don't forget, lines are open 203-872-7356.
All right.
We ought to film one of those speed dances.
Yeah.
We ought to film one of those speed dances
Yeah.
and put that on TV or on your website,
Yeah.
because people would really go for that.
I do it all the time with Match.
Film it and put it on.
Yeah. It's funny because a lot of Match.com folks. Are we on? Are our mics on?
Your mics aren't on, but they're on Facebook.
It's live.
It's live.
It's live.
Oh no, but I'm saying, can they hear us?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not on the
Okay.
radio, but on Facebook.
On Facebook. Okay. Well, some people are, funny about if they're on Match.com. Some people don't want their identities revealed, so
Oh,
I have to get permission from Match.
That's
But
wonderful.
it is very responsible. But when I do my own events,
Yeah.
outside of that, then we take pictures. Oh, we have a great time.
So how does that work? How does Match?
They call me
They
I literally so they just
Wow, that's
say
amazing.
Match events. She just called. They
Oh.
email. I'm one of their top 3 hosts in New England.
I didn't know you could do that. That's
Yes,
awesome.
you can.
Yes, you can. Yes, you
Yes.
can. That's great. Uh-huh.
Oh, perfect. That's awesome. All right, we're gonna go back. What other? We're gonna be okay. So relationships.
Connecticut budget. Should we touch on that?
What's that?
The Connecticut budget.
Sure.
Just related-
Connecticut what?
Connecticut budget. I don't really know much.
I don't
about
know much
budget.
about it either.
Okay, we'll stay off of that.
Where to find? All right. Well,
Alisa.
like I said, because we're gonna end his segment. It's almost done.
Yes.
So we still have about like 20 minutes,
Okay.
10, 15, 20. Yeah, 20, 23 minutes, 24 minutes, something like that.
All right.
So we'll talk about current events maybe.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm ready
Yeah.
for that.
Good. Perfect. All right, we're
Oh
going back in.
man.
Tell them because they're calling, but they can't call while you have a caller. So just tell them they could comment on Facebook.
Oh.
Okay,
nice.
no, but I'm gonna
we
get-
have another caller.
Huh?
Yeah, because what I'll do is, no, we're gonna go back on. Glenn is done in a second. So what you can't pick up the call, right?
Not while he's on the phone.
Okay, are they on the New Haven Independent line
Yeah.
or my
New
line?
Haven Independent line.
Okay, can you just tell them? Well,
That I can
I'll
do on
answer.
Facebook, but you have to say that online.
yeah, got it.
Ready?
All right. And welcome back to the Culture Cocktail Hour. I'm your host, Alisa Bowens Mercado. And every Thursday, I trade in my dance shoes and I spend time with you, the listeners. We are talking about relationships, folks, in the relationship segment today. And we have Glenn Jameson, who is joining us. Glenn, it's so good to have you. Let us know about your events, your single events, not even your single events. Like you said, you've brought in, it's kind of broad. So it's very inclusive. So I'm excited to be doing something with you guys. And Jude, if you are calling in, we're going to be taking calls. But if we have a guest on, then the calls will be put on hold, or you can call us back 203-872-7356. So Glenn, in closing, let everyone know where they can find you.
Again, thank you for having me on the New Haven Independent and the Cultured Cocktail
You're
Conversation.
welcome.
And happyhoursocialclub.com on Facebook or on the World Wide Web. You can also find us predominantly on meetup.com with the group Single Friends Connecticut. And we don't ask for much from anyone, but if you come to our events, we simply ask that you bring your dancing shoes and your warmest smile.
There you go. I mean, that's not a lot to ask.
I like that.
Yes. Glenn Jameson, thank you so much for joining us. I will see you on the dance floor soon, my friend, and I cannot wait for our event in June. So we will be having a time. We will be announcing a time and location and all that good stuff, a date for that. But be well and continue luck with your parties.
Great. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Spread the word, keep the peace.
Got it. So that's great. So
Thank you. Take care.
take care. So you know what? So people are finding love, or people are going out, and people are obviously they're single parties. We might not be privy to them, but they are actually going on. And you had a question earlier, and I love hosting LGBT events at the studio. They are amazing. So I love getting the community out, LGBT community. Shout out to those folks and organizations that I've reached out to that have just said, yeah, we'd love to come in and get folks dancing and all just it's just amazing.
Yeah.
It's so much fun. So yeah, I personally do a lot of those events. So that's great. So looking for love in all the wrong places. I found it. It just kind of came, flying across the dance floor one day, mutual friends. So I was lucky. 203-872-7356. Call us and let us know where you found love and if it's, have you been looking in all the wrong places?
Right.
All right. So, yeah, so let's continue. Current events. What's happening? Oh my gosh. Every week we get a Thursday and we go, okay.
Well, 100 days have been completed.
Oof.
Okay.
My gosh.
Another judge has, totally been confirmed. Absolutely. Which was there was an uphill battle. What do you have to say about that?
It makes me sick. S-I-C-K, sick. Sick. And you know I'm going to say lock him up. But
I told you
basically,
I'm gonna order Irving your T-shirts for that.
You're
Lock
welcome.
him up.
basically civil rights just got wiped out, and we don't know how bad yet, but they're coming. They're just coming down like flies.
And when you say that, what do you mean by
Civil rights. You have the civil right to say something about the government. You have the civil right to protest. You have the civil right to be treated equally.
Mhm.
Those things all got knocked way back. And it gets more ominous. That's what really scares me. Most lawyers are aware of this. Some are for it, some are against it.
Right.
But the thing is that we had a Supreme Court that was 4-4, with Republicans versus Democrats and people who
Right.
who were fighting the civil rights. What happened was they put another judge on to replace the one who passed away, and he's right wing as heck. They already started executing people 2 days after he got on because
Yeah.
he's pro death penalty, and
Sad.
now they're going to kill what 7-8 people in Arkansas, snap,
Oh, my
all dead,
goodness.
like a mass murder. I'm not saying it's murder, but I'm saying that it's a mass homicide, and we have never proved that the death penalty helps the people who live.
Right.
So therefore, I don't know why they have to rush to kill.
Yeah.
But so that we have that, and we have one or two other Supreme Court judges who are about to disappear from that court. Now that's not for sure, but one of them is old enough to retire and seems to be willing to retire. And if he retires, then the court goes further right. And the other one is Judge Ginsburg, the notorious RBG, who's a fake hip hop star, but we love her to death. She's way into her 80s. That's why they call her notorious RBG.
Notorious.
Ruth Bader
I love
Ginsburg.
it.
She's 90.
Yeah.
She's 82. She looks like she's 180, and
But
she's
she's
had cancer.
still sitting strong.
She's still sitting
Yeah,
strong.
and her brain is still strong, but nobody is betting that she's going to make it to 4 years. And as soon as she goes, then
it's
he
really
puts
right.
another right-wing judge,
Yeah.
and you lose those. Pollution, wide open on pollution. The first thing he did was sign orders saying that they could put more mercury in your rivers, more coal ash in your rivers. This is nonsense.
Well, you
This
know
is
what?
nonsense.
The good news is that everyone that thought that Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus was actually at its last leg, it's not.
Yeah.
Because you have the circus up close and personal in
Yeah.
our minute in the White House. So, folks,
true.
there's a lot of lions and tigers and elephants and
The president is an orangutan.
yep and trapeze artists who are sitting in the White House. So for those folks that are upset that the circus is going away, it's not.
I like my
It's,
civil rights. I like my civil rights.
Yeah, I think we all do. I
Oh,
think
did,
we all
for
do.
sure.
But
Yeah.
well, the phone lines are still open 203-872-7356. Let us know what you think about. We're still talking about relationships. I mean, because we're in a relationship with our country.
Yeah,
we
we
have
are.
a relationship, whether we like it or
Yes.
not.
Yes.
We are in a relationship. It's like one of
Mhm.
those relationships where you know you should get out,
Right.
but you just don't get out because
It controls the
Feels like
air
it's-
we breathe.
Yeah, it feels like it's
yeah.
the movie all over again.
All
Get
over.
out.
Get out. How many times do I have to tell you?
Get
And
out.
I have not seen that movie yet. I have to go see
Oh,
it. I heard it
Alisa,
was
you don't know what you're
phenomenal.
missing.
Really?
Talking
Yeah.
about relationships.
Okay, all right. Oh my gosh. Just by the title of the movie,
Yes.
I was like, oh,
Right.
that's pretty deep.
Right.
And immigration, there's things coming down with immigration.
I got a
and,
funny one for you.
But I think sanctuary city law, I think the White House and the administration was dealt a blow this week because they're reporting that, I guess through the Supreme Court, that
No. One judge in California ruled that he's not going to allow it not going to allow them to cut off the money to sanctuary cities. That's one judge. The Supreme Court is nowhere near that one judge. What the Supreme Court does about it, I have no idea, neither do you. My point is that
Right.
just one judge, and we are so desperate for straws that we're looking for one judge here, one judge there who might stand up for something that makes common sense.
Right. Okay, so now let's do this.
Yeah.
It has been 100 days.
It has been 100
Okay.
days.
Yeah.
How can we, as Americans, try to move forward
Mhm.
with a positive? Because at the end of my show, I always say, "Stay positive, stay
Yes.
focused."
Of course.
And in life, I believe that I stay positive and stay focused. So how can we? Let's just say that because there really is nothing we can do about what's I mean, we can resist, we can always speak up and always say, listen, this isn't right, and change, should happen. But in with what we have been dealt, how do we, the three of us, or four of us that are sitting in this room, how do we, just keep moving? Like
This
they say,
is-
keep it moving. Like
keep
how
it
are we gonna
moving.
do?
Keep it moving by putting yourself forward, pushing yourself forward, and taking those opportunities that have been taken away, and grabbing them by the balls, if you will.
Right.
The sanctuary city. New Haven, Connecticut is a sanctuary city. If we lose our funding, let's
Oh,
get together and let's start building houses
right,
for these refugees.
right.
Let's bring them in. Let's do what we have to do on our
Embrace
part. We
them,
say,
yeah.
okay, that's fine. If you don't want to help, that's perfectly fine.
Right.
We're going to do it
We're gonna
all
do
by
all by
ourselves.
ourselves.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because once I feel like, I'm not saying that hands are out, because of
Mm.
course these people really do need help. But if you know that you have the means to
Right.
purchase a home for one of the refugees, if you know that you have the means to
Right.
get them the proper paperwork that they need to make them
Right.
a legal citizen, then do it.
Then let your efforts be.
Then let your efforts do it, because
Do
we
it.
cannot depend on the government. Is what I'm saying. We have to depend on ourselves,
Exactly,
and
and
we have to make the change that we want to see.
that we want to see, and I
Absolutely.
think that that's valid, because there's a lot of things. I think reality has actually sunk in for all Americans
Mhm.
that this train has boarded and it has left the station,
Oh yeah.
and for 4 years it's going to be circling around, and
Mm-hmm.
it's not. I mean,
Right. And it's going to be.
unless it
You can get on,
derails.
but you can't get on. You can get on, but you can't get on.
Exactly. So
You know?
that's what we're dealing with.
That's what we're dealing with. So we
in
have to
this
build
country.
our own train tracks and our own train.
And system. And I think if people,
It's more like
Dallas,
take
yeah.
grandma's medicine away and throw her off the cliff. That's what it's more like.
Right.
That's what they're doing. That's exactly what they're
Unfortunately,
doing.
it is. Unfortunately,
Right.
it really is.
well, in Irving, we
Yeah.
see, and that's the thing,
Mm.
we know that that's the reality.
Sure.
We know that that is the reality.
It's old
And-
school.
And we try, but we are trying to figure out
Here's my little bit.
a way. Yes.
My little bit is to join a group that registers voters. All
Yes.
right? If you join a local group that registers voters,
Absolutely.
then maybe you can register some voters, and maybe they can come out with a national effort, all right, by the left, by the Democrats, by both, to register voters in the key states that have gone to heck by the skinniest little margins and cost everybody
Mm.
elections. Florida, Ohio, Pennsylvania. So if you join a local voter registration group and they come up with plans to register voters nationwide or in the key states, then it may change. And that's the best thing I can see for the average Joe to move on. I don't have the other solutions that you guys have except try to resist. But let me tell you, the laws they're passing, good luck resisting them.
Well, I think definitely getting people out, getting people not only registered to vote but motivated to vote. But then you have
Yeah.
to educate them
Yeah,
on what
motivation
to
to
vote
vote.
for.
That's
You
right.
know, what are we voting for? And then not only
100%.
that, but then it's like, okay, now we need to open up more voting polls.
Right.
Because people say, oh my God, I'm on my lunch break. All I have is 30 minutes. I'm in line.
Electronic voting.
Electronic voting via Facebook
Well, I
or an
know
equipment, cell phone or something.
And I know we could, as a collaborative from here at the Culture Cocktail, can
Right.
absolutely have a register to vote drive.
Totally.
We can go out, take,
Mm-hmm.
and plus we want to meet, our listeners.
Yes.
So bring this out to, into the streets and, do a taping, live out in the community.
Best idea I heard all day.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Well, but
Remember
that's,
that, because we're going to hold each other to that. We're going to make that happen.
Exactly.
well, that's going
Thank
to
you.
absolutely happen. And
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you why it has become a reality.
Mm.
That this is, our country is, has, like I said, the trapeze artist, it has gone down circles and, not for the best or the whole of the country. That's just my opinion. So, but no, we are going to register people to vote. And I think people now know how important it is that their vote actually counts.
Exactly. And show them how they're voting. I feel like people say, oh, this last election, she's got it. No need to vote. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
And
That's
other,
exactly what happened.
that's what happens. People say, oh, this would never happen.
Overconfidence.
Overconfidence.
Yeah, no.
But we have to, and then not only that, but then we have to find candidates. I feel like the people who have been the most critical of the president should put themselves in Austin. I mean, should put themselves in office.
Yeah.
I.e., Maxine Waters. She's
Yes.
been yelling the I word in front of everyone. Impeach, 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 impeach. Right?
Yeah.
But I don't see her trying to climb higher than where she is.
She can't.
Exactly.
I mean,
So
there's certain
we
limits
need to-
on everybody. But
Right.
the work she does is
Right.
so intense
Right.
that she carries her weight in that regard, just like Bernie carried his weight in that regard.
True.
And Hillary, believe it or not, carried her weight too. She won by 2.8 million votes. But in those few states that have this big white lash, that rebounded back, those states buried a lot of good things. And when there's poison in the water and there's poison in the air, which he's signing executive orders allowing, we're all getting poisoned.
Yeah, and you know what? I think we should make hometown. It's like Who Wants to Be the President. You know how you have
Yes.
these reality TV shows.
Oh,
All right, so I'm gonna
absolutely.
be the first one here on the Culture Cocktail to say that we're gonna host a show and it's gonna be like Who Wants to Be the President.
Yes.
You can be president.
Yes.
I said
I'll sign off on it.
my son. That would be a lot of fun because then this world it would be inclusive and people would
true.
just dance and have
They'd
a
be
good time.
dancing
They'd be dancing
in the streets.
That's right. So I
New Orleans.
that's right, and we get cha-cha and shimmy. But yeah, we should find out who, we've got some folks here, in the city
Right.
that are maybe vying for a presidential position and have them come in and see and talk to them and see what it would take and, rally behind, folks like that. I think that would be great. All right, folks, we're going to take a short, quick break. We'll be right back. Don't forget the phone lines are open 203-872-7356. You're listening to the Culture Cocktail.
Right. 103.5. Yeah, I mean, Yale is literally, like, I wonder why the dean of Yale Law isn't running for president, or the dean of Yale Law.
Will he run?
I don't know, but I mean, I think he should.
There's this huge backlash against smart people. That's a big thing in America. They don't trust smart people.
Yeah.
That was one of Hillary's problems. She's too goddamn smart. Trump talks like an idiot and acts like an idiot. So
Yeah.
they said, well, he might be smart, but he acts like one of us.
Oh,
And that works. It's like George W. Bush. He
Yeah.
wasn't the smartest guy in the block,
mm-hmm.
but that I'd rather have a beer with him. Talk about
What do you think about Bush?
Sorry.
Would you rather have Bush than Trump?
Yeah, I'd rather have Bush than Trump, but I want them both in jail.
No.
That war in Iraq was no good. It was made up.
I think Bernie would have been great.
Bernie is a wonderful, wonderful, great
I don't
guy.
know, I think
He
he's
may
gonna
run
be
again,
too
but
local.
he's going to be 78, and he couldn't win because Bernie had a great campaign. He got 10 million votes. 10 million votes is 5% of all the votes that you can get.
Right.
Hillary.
5% ain't going to win nothing.
And is
Can we-
it true Hillary stole it from him? What you said?
No,
No,
she
she
beat him by
don't.
3.7 million votes. That's
Are there
not
any
stealing.
other, what else can we talk about, like, to end? And I think
We
next
can talk about
week,
oxytocin, the love hormone. It's part of your body. Have you ever heard of it? It's real.
oxytocin. Oh, that's right.
Oxytocin, not oxycontin. Oxytocin is called the love hormone. It's in your body. It's naturally occurring.
Really?
And it's Google it.
Oxytocin?
You Google it, and you'll know more about it than me. But you can Google it, you'll see I'm not making it up. The name is incendiary because it's
You,
oxy.
you
All right, so we'll
got
talk about love. At the
you got
end,
5
all right?
minutes of show left.
Huh?
You got 5 minutes of show left.
Oh, yeah. Yep. All right, ready? Here we go.
All right.
Oxytocin. It's,
Oxygen.
So we didn't have any callers. Nobody called back.
Nope.
Oh, and welcome back to the Culture Cocktail Hour. Thursday is where you can find me and Dallas and Irving here. Okay, so we were talking about finding love earlier, and one of our Facebook livers said that he thinks that giving love unconditionally is the best way to receive love, but it will take patience and honesty.
Mm.
And he said he's finding good results that way. So, Angola, just keep that up because you're right. Patience and honesty
Yes.
is key.
good results. How many women does he have?
Well, when people say honesty, what exactly does that mean? What exactly does honesty? I mean, of course we don't. I mean, what is it?
People
what
want to
is
know
exactly
if you
does
have
it-
a baby, like
Okay.
a husband or what. Like, be honest. Like,
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
so
This
it's
is
I'll go postal and like if I drink too much or I like knitting, but or I secretly like dressing, like what honesty. I
Right.
think that's what he means.
What's the most honest of someone that you've dated in your past has been like? What's the most honest thing they've ever told you?
Nothing.
So, yeah.
I'm taking
And that's
your
why I'm
shirt.
so happy that I'm married now because It's the most honest relationship ever because at our ages, nobody lies. You can't lie.
Right.
You just, it is what it is. You turn
Right.
40 something and you're like, yeah, this is it. This is me. This is me. And you don't really have to even, like, you can't even hold anything anymore.
Right.
You know what I
That's
mean?
your
Like,
best friend. That's
literally.
on everything anyway. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So, you know, so what about you?
Let's see. Most honest thing.
Something wow, like wow me. I want to like fall off my chair.
Let me think. Ooh, they might be listening, so I can say.
They'll plug their ears. Go on, Dallas. This
Oh,
is Strong
man.
Radio. Come
Let's
on.
see. Let me see.
We have. There's no names, no nothing. Just you know, go on. That we don't know.
Let me do it while you're waiting.
Yeah.
She told me at like 7:00 in the morning. Yeah, and I'm taking this goddamn shirt with me. Right? She stole my shirt. And she was honest. She did take it. You know.
What was the shirt? Was it a T-shirt?
It was a nice shirt. She's not going to steal a junk shirt. She stole a nice one.
For her to wear, or just kind of like.
Yeah, to send a message.
To send a message.
I don't know what the message was, but I know. I said, just get the hell out of here.
Got it. So, okay, so now Dallas, you have to.
Oh man, I just thought about it. It's not PG.
Okay, all right. So then
Yeah.
we'll just keep that one. You got to tell me after the show.
I definitely will.
Yeah. And then oxytocin.
Oxytocin.
Oxytocin, not Oxycontin.
Right.
We're not talking about Oxycontin. We want people to feel the love. We don't want you to be like drooling all like
Right.
during the love or whatever. So oxytocin, that's the word for the day. Oxytocin. We're gonna have folks Google it out there, but supposedly it is the love drug or the,
it's a love hormone.
Okay, now is it in the body?
How's
Yeah,
it
it
activated?
occurs naturally from the hypothalamus. Part of the
Where
brain.
that's okay.
But
That's like
I'll
in
tell
the
you,
right side
Here,
back.
just Google oxytocin psychology today, and apparently it's something that a mother, and I'm going to get a lot of this wrong. As a matter of fact, we have to have a doctor who can call in regularly because we can get good second opinions.
Yes,
You know what?
absolutely.
Next week, I'm going to call out to some of my doctor friends. Or if you're listening to the show, we would like because we have questions here all of the time, and
We
so
can get a doctor right now to answer the question, what's oxytocin?
yes, and we're going
Call
to say
in.
that for next week's
Ask
show.
Siri.
Yes, exactly. Ask Siri. But we're going to get a doctor because
Sure.
you know what? I want all of you to put down your medical questions. All right, so we're going to next week on the show. We're going to have ask the doctor, and so people are just going to call in and just ask questions. Don't forget the Freddie Fixer Parade is coming up. I am really excited about that. So Dexter Jones and the Elm City Freddie Fixer is going to be having their parade. So I'll have a lot more information about that. But I know they have events. Go on their page and check them out. It's a great
You can
event
buy
for the
it.
community.
You can buy an ad with them too. I put an ad in there mainly because I got pestered. But you can buy an ad with them and support the Freddie Fixer Parade too.
Absolutely.
That's nice too.
And you know what? I'm putting an ad in too because I completely support it, and a lot of the sponsors and a lot of the folks that are putting it together are just dear friends. And I've been going to the Freddie Fixer since I was like a baby.
Mhm.
So 40 something years of Freddie Fixer, and so cleaning up the community. So I think it's important that we all get involved, and it's just not an African American parade community. It's a community event. So we really encourage folks of all walks of life to come out and to support that.
Good
All
idea.
right. Yes, absolutely. Well, guys, thank you so much. I love you guys, my co-host on the Talk Sip. It's every Thursday. I get to sit down and we get to talk and have a good time. And so, yes, we're bringing in a doctor next week, surprise guest. We'll get someone in here that will answer all of your questions. I've got one. It's going to probably be like about sinuses. Or,
Yeah. Right, because they're about to start.
yes.
Get your Claritin.
Get your Claritin. I know the sniffles are on, but if you have questions, you can inbox us and we can ask them on the air, or you can call us next week. So, folks, that is our time for the day. It is always so great to have you sit in and listen to us. And so, I will leave you with this. We want you to stay positive, stay focused, and always keep that glass full. Until next time.
Thank you.
All right.
Nice, nice, nice.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. That is
Yeah.
awesome.